just wanted to do an update because I had my proctectomy and I just wanted to do an update on how it went and how the recovery has been. I did have my operation, it didn't get cancelled again, obviously went there, I had the operation and then went to recovery, and because of the pain that I'd had in my last operation, they wanted to keep me in recovery for longer just to make sure it was all under control. I went into recovery, woke up and was in a bit of pain and felt really sick from the anaesthetic, but they were really quick to give me pain medication and anti-sickness this time, so it wasn't too bad. And after about 20 minutes I was eating and drinking again and feeling fine, and then they gave my mum a call, and her and Kyle came in to see me in recovery. Although they did it like keyhole through the bum, they also had to make incisions on my tummy for the instruments and the camera. So I didn't realise that. I thought if it was done keyhole they would just do it through the bum. But yeah, they did have to make a couple of incisions. So I'll show you my tummy. This one was for the camera, and this was for an instrument, and then just one here as well for an instrument, and then the drain is just down here. So I didn't realise that, but oh well. They've just gone through the old scars that I had from my subtotal colectomy, so I'm not too bothered. So yeah, the next day was fine again, and I had a really good day, had some visitors. Then on the Friday, that was 2 days after the operation, the doctor came to see me and said, "You're fine, like you're kind of ready to go home, you know, we'll take all the catheter and the drain out and everything, get you walking around, and if you're okay, you can go home." So that was like, wow, I've only just had an operation. And it was strange because it didn't really feel like I'd had an operation. Like, I didn't feel as bad as I did the time before. I wasn't in pain, and I was, yeah, doing really well. The only medication I was having was tramadol and paracetamol to just keep the pain under control. So yeah, on the Friday they said, you know, you can go home if you want. So I kind of saw how I went that day and said, yeah, I am ready to go home, but I know that it takes ages to get like medication when you're being discharged from hospital, so I'll just stay overnight so it's all ready for me and I can just leave in the morning straight away. So that's what I did. I left on Saturday morning. So I had my operation on the Wednesday and left by Saturday, so it all seemed like really positive and I was doing really well. Got home, was doing fine, eating and drinking normally. Pain wasn't too bad, you know, I had to be really careful, but as long as I was, it wasn't too bad. Then Sunday I was fine. Monday I woke up in the like early hours and I had quite a lot of pain. Sorry about the cats. I had quite a lot of pain, and yeah, I had a look at the wound, which is weird, and it was looking quite nasty, and the wound started to smell as well, and I thought something isn't right. So me and my mum went to the urgent care centre that evening, and the doctor there was a bit hopeless, but he said, yeah, it looks like it's infected, so we'll give you some antibiotics. So I had some antibiotics, some, I think it's metronidazole, and went home, and it seemed to kind of get better, the pain, like over Tuesday and Wednesday. But then I woke up on Thursday in the early hours again in a lot of pain, and I thought maybe I'd pulled something or something like that, because when I had a look at the wound again, it looked like the stitches had come open or something, and I was thinking that was why it was so painful, and I didn't know whether they needed to like re-stitch it, or I didn't really know because it just felt so much more painful than it did before. So the GP visited here and had a look at it and said, yeah, I think you need to go to the hospital. She didn't really know what was the problem, but she said if you're in that much pain, you should probably go to the hospital. So I went to, well, she kind of referred me in a letter thing and rang ahead. So when I got there, I just went straight to the surgical assessment unit, and I got there, I think about, I think it was around 5 o'clock, and I was there until 11 at night waiting for some oromorph, because they said that they couldn't really see what was wrong with the wound because I was in so much pain that they weren't able to have a proper look at it. So they wanted to give me some oromorph overnight so that in the morning when I came back to hospital I was in less pain and able to have an examination. So I went home on the Thursday night and went back in on Friday morning just expecting to just go in and have a look at it and say, oh yeah, you just need this, or yeah, the stitches come apart but it doesn't matter. Like, I really thought it was just going to be a quick half an hour appointment. So I told Kyle, like, oh, just be ready for like me ringing you to ask for a lift home. And when I got there, they said, you're still in too much pain for us to do an examination, so we're going to need to give you more oromorph, we're going to need to admit you, and we're going to need to give you some gas and air so that we can do a proper examination. So, I mean, I wasn't happy because I'd just been discharged and now I was being readmitted, and it's got to a point now with all of this health stuff that I'm just so sick of it now, and I just want to be well again. And I was in so much pain and so much discomfort, and I just wanted to go home and be with these kitty cats. So I really wasn't very happy to be admitted, but you know, it had to be done really. So was admitted to the ward, and then they came along to give me some gas and air, and they gave me the instrument like you see on you know, One Born Every Minute where people have gas and air, and they said you need to breathe in and push this button at the same time. And so I was like, okay. And then the doctor said, no, you don't need to do that, you just need to breathe in. And the nurse was like, no, you need to press the button. And he said, no, you don't, so just try it. And I was like, okay. So I breathed in and I was like, today I can't really tell a difference. And so he's like, yeah, breathe in again. And I breathed in, couldn't tell a difference. So he kept saying, breathe in, take really big deep breaths. So I kept going. And then all of a sudden this massive wave came over me, and it was the worst feeling I've ever had. Like, I just felt like completely out of control of my own body. Like, suddenly I was just buried and I couldn't see or hear or do anything properly, and everything I said, I sounded like 2 seconds delay kind of thing, and it was horrible. And I was literally like shouting like, I don't like it, what's happening? And yeah, I laugh about it now, but at the time it was traumatic. So I was really upset after that, and they were able to have a look because I just wasn't in control of anything. So they just had a quick look whilst I was in that state, and said that yeah, the stitches had come apart, but it wasn't too bad looking. They couldn't see why I would be in that much pain, which made them suspect that I had a buildup of fluid in my pelvis, like an abscess, and that the fluid would be infected from the infection. So they said we need to do a CAT scan to check that. So CAT scan did show that I had an abscess in my pelvis, and that's what was causing so much pain. So they had to drain it, and because I was in so much pain and I had a bad experience with gas and air, they had to put me to sleep to drain the abscess. So on Saturday morning I was given a general anaesthetic and put to sleep so that they could drain the abscess, and they said basically what they do is just go through the wound, which is disgusting. So yeah, I was glad I was not awake for that. But then when I woke up from that surgery, again in recovery, was fine, literally sent after like 10 minutes back to the ward. and within 10 minutes again was eating and drinking and feeling fine. And then I had some visitors and I was feeling all good, and basically just got better then from Saturday, Sunday, and then on Monday morning they said you can go home because you're doing fine now. And I literally wasn't in no pain at all then, and it was really weird because from being in so much pain from like the infection before, just that quick relief of them draining the abscess, I was absolutely fine. So I came home just on paracetamol and some antibiotics. So went home and I was taking, I think it's ciprofloxacin and metronidazole that I was on before, and seemingly was going okay, but then my hands were really itchy and the soles of my feet, and I had a shower and realised that I had hives all over my back. So I rang the GP and said I think I might be allergic to one of these antibiotics, and because I'd been taking the metronidazole before and it hadn't had that reaction, it must have been the ciprofloxacin or whatever it's called. So I've stopped taking that, and my GP's just said just to continue with the metronidazole and hope that that is enough. So that's where I am at the moment. In terms of the wound, it's still open as such because they've not stitched it. Like after they drained the abscess, they just left it. So it's not stitched shut and it's not glued or packed or anything like that. It's just got to heal by itself. So I've just got to be really careful, obviously, of like keeping it clean. So not touching it, not doing anything, just having regular showers and just being careful like of keeping it clean. So I'm sitting on a cushion and things like that, so I'm a bit wonky, just to keep comfortable, but really it doesn't hurt at all. I'm able to walk around, so I'm hoping this is it, and I'm hoping that I can still get back to work soon, and yeah, fingers crossed. But if you've got any questions about any of it, then let me know, and I'll do an update maybe in a couple of weeks to let you know how I've got on. Bye!